Okay, I think it's working. Give it a second. Okay, cool. Let me see. So today we're going to try working on the hair, and there's a good chance we're not going to like what we do, but we might get closer to something we like, so we'll try our best here. Make setup here. Okay. That one's working. Yeah. Cool, cool. So last time I did a private stream, and then I downloaded the videos after and I modified it, edited them, I cut out like dead spaces and sped it up, and it was interesting to see the response so far. I think it generally had less views, but then the people who did watch it liked it more, so it had like a strong response but less views, which was like really interesting. Generally speaking, I think doing it that way, where I pre-record it and then edit it and then upload it after, it was much more time consuming and I think a little bit more work versus just streaming live where you just hit the start and end button. Um, but there was more freedom to it too, where I start and stop like whenever I want. So I'll probably like try both ways now and then, but today we'll just try streaming. And I I think the hair is gonna be hard, but we're gonna try our best and see what we get. There's a good chance we're not gonna do well, but we'll learn from it and we'll just embrace the suck for a while. I wanted to try kind of like kind of straight hair. I always do a ponytail, so I kind of want to try to do something a little different. We're gonna try maybe some different methods. I'm gonna try to do it so like there's a split in the middle. Turn on the music a little bit. Oh, and I think the last time we experimented with like matte caps. Oh, you know what? Actually, I don't want to do a sphere. I want to try. I'm gonna try a cube. Something feels clunky. I don't know why. It feels so clunky. Yeah. So I got my copy pastable cubes and spheres, so I'll just kind of copy from there, so I don't have to keep scaling it each time. I think I'm gonna try working with subdivs. Just, I mean, last time we worked on the face a lot, so got it in a more better state, I think. I think this hair will go this way. We're gonna try doing like a subdiv approach, so it'll stay low, but then we'll have like a subdiv on it, so kind of see what it looks like here. But since it's like still like a low subdiv, there's less points to push and pull, so it's a little easier to work with, and it's smoother, so like it averages out. Maybe this one just like tucks away and we just don't see it anymore. Like this. Oh, I'm also gonna do breaks, so I'm gonna bring up my, if you go to Google and type in Pomodoro, I think. Let me double check. Pomodoro. Yeah, it's like the first link when you do Pomodoro. And it's a timer that goes for 25 minutes and then 5 minutes for break. And it's like a nice way to kind of stop and take break and think about what you're doing. So I'm gonna start my timer now. Kind of stretch, step back, stretch, and they have like a longer break mixed in, like I think on the third cycle. Let's make this smooth so you kind of see what it looks like when it's like high res. And ski. I'm gonna make this one like a hair clip. I think last time we experimented with like matte caps. So I'm in solid mode. And if you go to matte cap and you see these options, I downloaded like a handful of matte caps just to try it out. And I really like this one. And I made a YouTube short where I put the link on there. And I think the last video also has a link to this one. But it's a really nice one where it kind of has like a really nice rim light to it. And also like a kind of 3/4 light to show you the form. I just really like it. I think it works well for like human models. I got a couple like metal. I think I got porcelain and then like metal and then like kind of this gem. But I'm not really sure yet. I haven't really tried making other stuff with it. But potentially it'll help like if you're doing like a car body or something. It helps you tell like where the creases are, or like how the changes, the angle of the form and stuff. I'll just like suggest that this is a pin. Oops. But yesterday my neck was super stiff. I think just sitting at the computer for so long, like back to back. I think like probably 7 hours back to back for 2 days, and my like trapezius neck muscle area was like super stiff. And I have this like kind of cool trick I do where I soak a rag in hot water in a bowl, and then I have a Ziploc bag, and I put the hot rag. I like roll up the hot rag like a burrito. I don't you know like when you squish the rag, like you twist it. I don't drain it. I just let the water sit in it, and I just wrap it like a burrito, and I stuff it in the Ziploc, and then I close that pretty tight so the water doesn't leak out. And then I put my face on the pillow and I wrap that around my neck, and I let it sit there for like 10 minutes, and it really helps a lot. It feels really good. Kind of helps like alleviate like the muscles there. And I maybe do that twice and then feel a lot better. Let's see, I'm gonna do the shade smooth. Might add more geometry later to that, but just for now to get the idea of what that looks like. And then maybe we'll try like one side and then work on the other, kind of see what works and what doesn't work. Want this one. So maybe it's more interesting if there's like multiple overlapping elements to the hair. So I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. And then this one kind of like maybe starts right here. Kind of like the sideburns, kind of. Is this sideburns? It gets like tucked behind the ear. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna add a subdiv on it. Go to the second level. I'm gonna try my best not to add too much to it, so it's like it stays super smooth. Uh, just I think when I woke up today, I was like, you know what? I want to try making a short. So got spent like the first I think hour and a half of today doing that, and it was much quicker than doing like a full edit. It's kind of fun to try using DaVinci, and there's so many tutorials that was just like back to back, like how do I do this? How do I do this? And luckily there was like tutorial for each part, like how do you make a blur? How do you add text? How do you freeze a frame on the video? And it's like it takes like an hour, but then you only get like 40 seconds, and it's like but so hmm, what's the point? So there's only one point here. Let me try to pull it out here. Pull it in. Thinking of like this shape, this curve, and then this curve. Maybe this goes a little higher. Um, just add another one. I kind of like the color of this. It makes me think of Mudbox. I never really used Mudbox, but the color is pretty like mid-tone, and it's not like if you're staring at this for a while, it's not too hard on the eyes, which is nice. I want this hair to be um, kind of tapering really fast. Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to apply this, was I? Oopsie. Don't apply. If I apply it, then it's like it doesn't mathematically keep all those like smoothing effects, and I have to like move all those verts. So I don't want that yet. Trying to tape pinch it on the bottom. It could be funner if it was like slightly shaped differently. That okay. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Is this head here? Let's see. What are you looking at? What are we adding to here? Oh, this is inside the head. Let's put these into a new material. Try to stay a little cleaner. So I'll call this one hair. And save. Let's try the other side. What's kind of scary too is like I think when you start to do something like stream, I think it's really stimulating. So it's like it's kind of anxious, anxiety provoking, um, exciting because it's like you never kind of know what's gonna happen. You don't know if people are popping in or not. You have this sense of like you need to perform at a certain level. You need to like I don't know, but it's just overall stimulating. So it's like if you decide not to stream and you then like switch to this lower intensity and like maybe it's not triggering as much dopamine or serotonin release. It's like you're doing the same thing, but then it's like you're not getting the same excitement from it. So it's like kind of scary in a way where it's like maybe you get in a sense like addicted to streaming or addicted to kind of the I don't know, like the engagement. So where like it becomes part of your process or but then you can't do it without it. Something. It kind of makes me question like it asks like the question of why do I stream to begin with? And it's like it's hard to say exactly. Like maybe over time like the motives change as well. What I'm hoping for is as I stream more, I kind of gain some level of um, kind of conversational confidence, I guess, where I could say what I'm thinking more directly and not feel overstimulated, I guess, to kind of build this tolerance to kind of but I guess like at the same time like if you become numb to it or like tolerant, kind of like I guess what I'm trying to make a parallel to is like you become so it doesn't really make you excited anymore. So like kind of like if you were working on some type of art and you were always excited about it, like making like like fancy cars, and then like you do it all the time, and then kind of you reach this like new baseline where it's like it's kind of expected and it's not exciting, so you end up not you don't I guess you don't approach it the same way because you just it doesn't excite you the same way. So it's like kind of maybe some weird parallel to that where because it doesn't you don't react to it the same way anymore, like you don't end up producing the same thing or something, or produce the same way, like your process changes. I'm really not feeling this how these are meeting, but I think I need more geometry there, but I don't want to add geometry yet. So I'm gonna ignore that. Like I'll just pretend that doesn't exist right now, and then I'll focus on like this flow more. And then just like I did that, maybe what if we did this? Like what if there was some more variation in the shape there? So it tapered, or like this came forward or something. Part of me like really wants to um add more like philosophical like stuff to the stream. So maybe we'll try to like squeeze that in somehow. We go over like how things make you feel, or like the reasons for things, like the reason why you would do one thing or the other. The reference I have for this hair, there's nothing from the back or top, so I have to kind of try to I can either find another reference that fills that gap, or I could try to imagine it. See what the timer's at here for my break. I got 7 more minutes and I'll take my break. We're gonna try to be somewhat systematic on the approach for the hair because I think it builds on itself. So I think last stream we kind of collapsed where we kind of put down a sphere and kind of remeshed it and kind of pushed and pulled it, but we weren't really sure where we were going with it. So like we had all this extra geometry to work with, and it kind of got out of hand real quick. So we'll try breaking into parts and kind of ask ourselves and work more slowly and say like, is this working? Is this working? Is this working? And then if one part doesn't work, we could just delete that and try like restarting that one part versus like the whole thing kind of just being a sloppy mess and being like, I guess I could start over or push and pull this one for a while. I think this hair on the top comes down this way. I might cover like this actually. I think another thing I'm thinking about is like it's hard to say like some of these hairs go over the other hairs, so like this will go under, this go over. But do I build it going back like this, and then this part goes under this part goes under this part, or does it go the other way where this part goes over this part goes over this part? So it's like, which way do I go with that overlap? One thing I guess we could try is just block in a shape like this. and then we'll kind of adjust it after the fact. And again, we'll say really low, we'll just make this like a subdiv 2, and then do the shade smooth so we see what the high poly would looks like. And then we just have those few points to work with and stay smooth. Well, I guess one other aspect that's kind of bad about this like low poly subdiv approach is the volume is very thick. So you get this kind of like thick mass of hair, like this. It's almost like what is that? Like what is that hair called? It's like I just think of Jamaican hair or like that. It's like really thick, almost like a Cheetos puff. Cheetos puff. This looks like what's it called? That game with the this spray paint or paint splatter Splatoon. Another problem we're facing is I guess what I guess we'll do is like have this go in front like that. Yeah. Can add one more. And I'll just make it taper. I kind of like the skewed tapering effect that happens. Try to like do that. Still super thick though. That's kind of cool. Possibly I can duplicate this after the fact and then make smaller forms on it next to it. But yeah, it's super editable right now, so just place it and then we'll have a reference point basically. It's almost acting like a lattice, I guess, lattice deformer. Let's try doing the same thing on the other side. I kind of start from a new cube each time because like you get like more organic results and you kind of experiment and you're like, oh, you know what, that kind of worked better. I'm gonna flip my reference image on PureRef. If you hold Alt and Shift and then drag left or right, it'll flip your image. Looks like I'm gonna cover up my uh, hairpin, which I kind of don't want to do, but let's see. I'll just bring it out for now, so I'll just know it's there, but I'll adjust it later. Kind of have to use the bathroom. Yesterday I drank like cold pressed coffee, and I kind of been avoiding cold pressed coffee because I think it's much stronger. And like the next day, I always have like this really heavy feeling on my heart. I think it's stressing out my heart when I drink cold pressed coffee because it hits really hard. Yeah, I definitely feel like more amped when I drink it, but then I think I get like heart palpitations with it. So it's probably not good to drink that. I normally drink I have like the thing where you boil it and it's like it comes through that little looks like a little teapot, but it like goes through that little nozzle and you like put in that little I don't even know what it's called. It's like you unscrew it, you put the coffee in that little cylindrical strainer thing. And I feel like it's just enough. It's like it's not too much coffee, and then I did have a mistake. Too smooth. Really thick. Oh, my timer went off. All right, so we'll take a break. Where is it? I'm gonna stop the music. You see, reset my timer for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's see, it's tab back over here. Okay. All right, step back. Oof. Oof. My shoulder. We got 3 more minutes. Oof. Oh. Oof. Just taking deep breaths and rolling my shoulder. I think like just sitting for a while. I think my desk height to my chair height is not perfect, so I think my arms hang off my shoulders, and then after like a couple hours, it starts to get stiff. So I'm gonna just do some kind of things like where you wave your hands out, and then take deep breaths. Just kind of look at the model from a distance. I think this is kind of blocking it out, getting the shapes there. And then after, I could say like, well, maybe I want to cover the forehead more, so I could pull this forward. Or maybe it's better if this part was smaller. Like, what if I did this to this? But because I have it there, I can now kind of say, this is too big, this is too small. What if there was this next to it? So I think this part's crucial. I'm kind of getting the Star Wars vibe too, where it's like that lady with the tentacle hair, just like long tubes of like, because it's like the same color as the skin too, and it's a big tube going on both sides. So I'm getting that Star Wars alien girl effect. I'm not really sure if I feel I'm liking the shape of the face. It's kind of highly subjective, like what is good and bad. It's also weird because like I feel like texture, like if I was texturing this, I could push and pull certain shapes more with the color value. So like darks would push away and then whites would pull forward. So you could add much more interest, I guess. But with just working with shapes for printing, it's like, I don't know. Like it's maybe like if you emphasize certain shapes more for printing, it would look better, but I don't know. Um, Also kind of have to be considerate about um, how thick things get or how thin things get for the printing, which I don't want to get too caught up in because I could like always just do what I think looks cool and then adjust it after. So maybe I won't get too caught up in that. Oh, okay, time's going off. I have this little racquetball, and I use it to squeeze it during my break. And also right now, I'm rolling it over my forearm, and it's kind of a nice massage. It's like a rubber ball, kind of rolling over just around my like forearm, where it's like where the elbow is, but it's on the inner part where that muscle is. And it's kind of it's a little stiff, so I'm just like rolling over. Okay, so yeah, stop. I'm gonna jump back in. Ugh, trying to save this. So my goal, there's a good chance the hair won't work today, but we'll try stuff, and maybe by the end of the day we'll like little bit like it a little bit than it was before we started, and then maybe the next day we'll look at it again and then be like, okay, well, from based on that, I think this and this can be better, so we could keep going, but I don't know. So let's see. So the timer's already going. I don't know. Let me change the music here. But what if I listen to like some Doom music? Kind of feel the Doom. Okay. I don't know why, but I kind of feel like this facial structure leans into like if this person was like um Asian and also black, I think. So it's like a mix of it's like Malaysian, I guess. I think that's I don't know. It's interesting. Like subtle changes in like the face structure like makes it feel like a certain race. Uh, I want this hair to be shorter, so I'll bring this up. Malaysian, kind of like blazon. Okay. I mean, we could try to reduce the volume. I think it'd be kind of cool if I taper it like this, so it gets thin here, and then it gets thick down here. That looks like a more interesting silhouette to me. What's happening there? I can maybe thin it this way too. Yeah, that feels better. How does it make me feel? And then this side we'll do something similar. And that's kind of another reason not to do like, a mirrored or copy pasted, because it's like the same geometry, so I wouldn't have experimented as much, I think. Or even if I did the same thing to both sides, they would still look different because they're literally not the same. Literally. How does that make me feel if that's like, it's kind of like an S curvy thing. I don't know if I like it. Maybe I want it more like thinner, but not. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's bring this in like that. So I like it from the front, and then this side's too big. Um, it's kind of going back to the topic of trying the pre-recorded session. I feel like for the amount of effort it took and like just the raw views it got, I think it wasn't worth it potentially. So like just regularly streaming, like it's just more because like you just have like if you do the pre-recorded video, you have to like go back through it, you have to rewatch it, and then spend the time editing it, and it's just so much more hands-on. Like it literally like yesterday I had to I is a work day and I spent like the full 4 hours I had just editing the video. So like it was kind of boring and it's like I want to do something else and then it's just I don't know. I felt like it wasn't worth it. Um versus just streaming is like you start, do your thing, work, stop, then hit the stop button. But I think rewatching it, I think the pre-recorded edited one felt more streamlined. So like I think quality wise, I think it felt better. So I don't know. I think it's situational, but maybe just editing a stream video isn't worth it, but like making like a segmented like tutorial or something would be much better for that. See what that does. That makes it thinner. Maybe I'll bring back this side actually. I don't mind it like going through the body. I like that shape. It's like a nice curve. All right, let's go to the next one. The thing is we have to make up more and more stuff as we go further back. I kind of want to try something though. I want to try like a layered approach. So I'm thinking Arby's, or I'm just joking. I'm thinking, what if there was one layer like this? So this hair would go down here, and it would be kind of handling the length of it, and the one above it would cover it, and it would tell you like where the is coming out from the root, and then kind of act like being a covering layer. I think I never did that before. I think that would be good. Let's see. And just always thinking about where the hair split is happening. And this person has their hair split in the center. I always make it like on the side, like here or here, but I guess it'll go like here and then stop right here and then kind of turn into like a half circle or something. But this hair will kind of come down from the inside and get covered. And then I think the trick will be when I cover it, I'll just kind of make it transition or like overlap in a very pleasing way so that way it doesn't feel like it's a separate piece. I think that's the trick. But I don't know. What am I doing? What's hockey? E. Okay, yeah. Uh, we'll try like different shapes too. So like this one will probably be pretty big. I think the closer you are to center line, you probably want them smaller, so there's less copy pasty feeling. Let me see where I want this one to go. If I make it really long, it might cause trouble. Sure though. What if I kept it like with the subdiv modifier on, then I could just have good control of it. We could try that too. Try to keep the subdivs as long as possible. Yeah, we'll just like try to be as free as possible. So be like, you know what, I want to make this super long, even though that means maybe more work later. So we'll try like down to like here. then let's probably add one here so it doesn't get too rounded up there. And I'll see what it looks like here if we add the subdiv. Oopsie. Okay, so it look kind of like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then I'm gonna push it in a little bit. How much time do we have today? So it's 10 a.m. And I gotta go at I think I have to go at 2:30 today. Let me check my clock. But I have to go do stuff too, I think. So I might stop the stream and come back again. Where's my thingy? Hmm. Today's today. Today's Friday. Okay. Let's set the timer. Yeah. Cool. Okay. 11, 12, 1, 2. Not 4 hours. It's more like 3 hours though. Only 3 hours? Oh, let me turn. I had this on projected. I'm gonna switch back to sphere mode because when I was doing projected, when I moved this. Wait, what? Can I move it? Oh, when I moved this, I was picking through it and I was picking the back down there. And I didn't want to do that, so I guess I'm not clicking it. There you go. Let me switch it back on actually. I kind of like it because it's generally more powerful, I think. And it kind of, you can also select by radius. Not, you don't have to actually click on it, so I'm gonna keep it on. I just have to be mindful like what's behind it. Should be okay. Let's see. I kind of want to twist it. Let me try using the twist tool in sculpt mode, see if that gives us results here. Here's rotate, see what that does. What does that do? Oh, it did rotate it actually, but it's not the way I want, so let's try the other way. I don't know what's happening. It looks like it's getting smaller. Try like higher up, see what that does. It's making it more interesting. Let's try pose. Pose maybe do. Pose looks really confusing, but let me see. Rotate, twist. Yeah, that's the only one I want. So pose looks really confusing, but it's basically everything that's in the radius of the brush is what's being moved. And that little line you see is kind of the reference point where it's going to put the axis. So it's going to rotate everything below. And this is really low geometry, so it looks kind of even weirder, but it's going to use that like white line, that point at the line to rotate off of. And right now it's rotating like based on the camera, but I don't want that. I want it to rotate kind of going up and down. So I'm going to hold control and make it rotate it that way. Something like that, so it kind of rotates more like the head. And then back to grab. Pose brush is so cool. I think another option would have been to use well, actually I think that was it. Wait, what was the other one? Elastic Deform's the other one. You could do twist. But that one's like sometimes it's unpredictable. You can see something happening there. It's nice for like doing subtle adjustments too. Sometimes it goes crazy, but so you can add like an extra twist there. Just barely noticeable, but I like that brush too. Elastic Deform. Back to grab. Let's see, I don't like the way this ends. I wanted to kind of create like a I don't know what that's called when you cut your hair and it's like or they purposely taper, they like fade out the cut. So it's like it gets thinner and thinner as it goes down. Let's see, let's add this, see what that feels like. Okay. And then what if I like do some weird shape here? Make it sharp. How's that feel? Make it wider. Okay. Now it looks like a propeller blade or something, like an airplane blade. Okay. Now it looks like a P. It's got an interesting twist to it, though. That's kind of cool. I like that. I might leave that. Okay, so let's save. Make another cube here. Let's do one going this way. So now we're faced with the potential issue where we defined that twist. So the question is, do we line up the hair next to it to that twist? Or do we let it be independent? I don't know, we'll see. We'll try it and we'll see what happens. For this one, I want to make it smaller. So if you want to also like make it smaller based on like make it follow this shape, the parallel, you just grab the face, double tap G, and you kind of scale in. And if you want to keep going out that way, you just press Alt after, and you can go out that way, and it just follows that axis. But in my case, I want to make it smaller, so it'll be like right here, like this. So it kind of follows the shape going this way. This hair is going to be in control of the length of the hair going out. I recently tried to also have like a movie playing in the background as I work, and I think it really works, especially if you're doing something that's like really repetitive. But I was watching like American Psycho, and I got so enticed towards the end of the movie, I just completely stopped working. I just stopped everything and I just watched the end of the movie. So in that way, it's kind of bad. But I guess if you watch something that's less engaging, maybe like a TV show or sitcom or something where it's like comfy and it's like you can kind of we already know how it's going to end. It's always like safe, like you know they're going to be safe at the end, and it's like predictable, but it's like what's that word? It's like predictable or reassuring. One cool thing was I rewatching it, like I would notice certain things, or I didn't remember like how it started, or like different aspects of the movie, or like kind of like really like it kind of maybe adjust like my perspective of what the movie was, how it was portrayed in my head, like from before and after. It's interesting. I didn't think rewatching it was gonna give any value, but I think it was actually kind of good to rewatch it. I'm gonna make this hard again up there. This one will be thinner, just to kind of break up the shapes more. Again, we'll do something similar down here. Um, let's add a cut here. We didn't twist it this time, so that's interesting. You know, the approach has changed here. I could still twist it. Let's try not twisting it, see what the results would be. Like if I tried to match this up to that other hair without twisting. Bring this in. Make it thinner. This part come out more. So there's a bit of organicness to it, I guess. Bring this in. There you go. Okay, okay. The end is still too rounded. Let's try this. What if it leans into it like that? That's kind of cool. What if we did add some twist after the fact? So let's go back to pose. And then kind of twist it a little bit. Okay, just kind of seeing the results there. Not liking that. Let's go to the, where's that other brush? Elastic deform. Give that a shot. Kind of smoothing it. Yeah. Go in by hand here. Kind of purposely squashing and shearing the edges to give it more of a dynamic shape there. See if that helps it. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. All right, let's save. And then next one. Pretty slow process. So another problem we're going to face is, as you know, going up to the head here, it's like, okay, that makes, you know, just completely just do the same thing over and over and over, like up to here. But the problem is, like, when we come to here, how do we transition from that shape to here? So I gotta think here. How do I do that? I could I could do the same thing, but then make them shorter and shorter as they come up, and then still overlap them here. But the overlap will get longer and longer, and ultimately be almost the same size as this. I think that's the way to go. So basically it would be like the same thing overlapping itself, but this one handles the length, and then this one handles the cover. So I'll call it the cover and the length. That'll be kind of the way to go, I think. It's kind of interesting to see this matcap where you can see its limitations here, where when it's like super long and you're looking down, you can see like JPEG artifacts, I think, where I can see like these weird greens and yellows, and also it's like breaking up here. It's like you can see all these like um, cuts in it, which is really weird. Interesting. Oh, and this way you can see more of the color. That's weird. It's like warping over like a really long shape or something. Anyways, what if I did this? What if I squash the starting block like that? What happens? It has like a tapered shape now. Okay. What's also interesting is well, we didn't spend that much time actually on the ear, but if I go with this hair, basically the ear won't be visible. So all that work that went in the ear is basically nullified. We could always potentially like push the hair back into after the fact and bring out the ear, like the tip of the ear, so it's not a complete waste. And also serve the purpose of like giving me a reference point of like, oh, that feels right. So it wasn't a complete waste to actually do the ear. Um, so this is going to be interesting. So I guess we start making these come up more. So it could be like a really fast transition where it's like really down, 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 and then not down, like middled right here, and then really like, or like right here. So it's like it'll be exponentially like whoop, go really short, really quick right here, and then at least that's what I'm thinking. Oh, my timer went off. I forgot I had my timer on. Let's put it kind of at a distance. Wait, before I take a break here, let's put this. We'll just put it at a distance like this, and we'll be able to look at it. I'm getting like Predator vibes with like the long hair and the circular head, but I'll leave it here so I can kind of look at it as I step back. Let me stop the music. Hey Siri, set my timer for 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, tab back over. What time is it? It's 10:20. Oh my god, it's been 20 minutes already. Oh, my back. Okay. I got some bottled water here, but it kind of smells funny. I don't know if I should drink this. I probably shouldn't drink that. Oh, my back. I'm gonna try to. I think like I feel like a little bit of pinching, like on the center of my lower back. So maybe the muscles that go into my back, just behind my pelvis. Like I gotta massage that area. Maybe I can do like leg stretch or like leg spreads or something. It's. Oh, I'm gonna lift my hands above my head. I think after the hair, I want to just give them like a pair of shorts, and I think that's it. And then I'll just focus on posing and then cleanup sculpt, and I think it's done at that point. And I just want to move on to something else. I kind of want to try learning more like sci-fi stuff, but I don't really have a lot of experience in it, so it'll be a pretty rough road, I think, when I start. Probably a lot more hard surface modeling. I kind of wanted to try to also set up like a webcam, and then I could have it facing top down, and I could try to show like sanding the finished print. I think that'd be really cool. Make a setup so I could just show how I would approach like sanding it, I guess. But I don't know what to experiment with that. Back. Oof. Oof. I think it'd be kind of fun if this character had more cosmetic accessories as well, like rings or like a necklace or like a hat would be cool too, but I don't know how much more I want to do because I just want to like actually print it and then be like, okay, so that was cool, this worked, this worked, this worked, and then next time I could do this. And this would be kind of like a way to learn versus just like going into like infinite smaller stuff, being like, this character has this and this kind of backstory, and it would have to have this with it, and I would have to basically make a second character to put on the shoulder or something, and like just get lost in making smaller and smaller details. I don't want to do that. Um, there's the timer. I think it'd be also cool if like I can experiment with this later, but once we're in the post-processing stage, we could add like this porous noise across the whole model, where it's almost like replicating what a marble statue would have, where it's like those little dimple effects. So it'd give it like a sense of it's more like skin. But I don't know exactly how to do that yet. So it'd be interesting to see. It's probably not too hard. It's probably adding like a displacement thing. And getting like a displacement texture. And having it like seamless or tiled. Seamlessly tiled. That's what I assume. Okay. Let's keep working on this predator. I want to change the music again. Okay. Let's add a cut to the top. Let's see. Let's pull it out a bit more. I'm gonna make this one longer. It's gonna add a cut down here. Oops, that's not. Add a cut down here. And let's just kind of work it here. I want this not to be as long. Just kind of squash it this way. There's a gap here. Potentially we could add one that kind of fills that gap. I'm thinking like this second layer will cover up to here and create this effect. So it kind of echoes this shape here. And it kind of connects this more. I'm just worried that it's a little boring, or it's just like straight up and down right next to each other. And it might be fine. Let's kind of close that gap then. We could probably adjust it later too, so I'm not going to get too worried about it. Let's make the bottom more interesting here. So, let me see. Ooh, kind of like that. So what if I make this thinner? Bottom stays thicker, but it tapers as well. So it has like this, what is that shape called? It's like a spoon, I guess? Well, it's not really a spoon. Let's see what this is doing. Okay. How's that feel? Yeah, I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. This looks a little boring. Try to pull these down. How does this feel? Yeah, it's more interesting. I don't think twist. Well, let me see what twisting would do. Let's try the, what was I using? That was kind of good. I guess pose. I think pose was too strong though. Let's try rotate, see what that does. What the? I held control and I did it. Okay. I just don't know where the axis is on this rotate. I think it's like at this point, which is not really what I want, but it is rotating. Yeah, so I'm not gonna do that. Let's try the elastic deform again. It's kind of like nudging it. I think it's doing what I want. It's hard to tell. Let's go back with the grab. I'm just kind of making the bottom have more of an interesting silhouette there, where it's like boop, 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 boop. Edit mode. Trying my best not to add like extra cuts because I think it's going to get too hard to control. Ooh, I don't like how that flattens there. Ooh, what if I do that? No. Oh, kind of like that actually. Yeah, that's good. Let's see what this does. I'm looking at this center highlight. Let's see if the form just gets destroyed there. I think we kind of went crazy with this one compared to the other ones, but let's just let it be. And then if I don't like it, I'll delete it. I think one problem with this workflow is I'll learn as I go. So then the first one gets really boring, and then the second one's more interesting, and the third one's more interesting, and then it's like by the time you're on the other side of the head, you're like you make this like super cool intricate hairstyle, and then on the other side it's like boring as hell. In that case, I guess you have to like circle back around and to do the other side again. But then you make that side better, and then the other side sucks again, and then you gotta go back and forth. I guess it probably would taper off though. So like you slowly get less and less um better at it, or less and less good. It wouldn't be as good, and it would just like slowly all be the same if you kept going around. So what do I want this hair to do? I could break this into two. Let's try breaking into two. Okay. What I'm thinking for this one, well, yeah. Well, let's see. I wanted to go behind the ear, but the problem is, yeah, I guess I could. Well, yeah, I could try this. So this hair will kind of go everywhere. So go start on the back, go behind the ear, and then it'll go back forward, and then go on the shoulder, I think. So go really far. It'll be like way over there and way over here. Kind of like this. And just hang out here. I think I want that. I'm not sure. And then let's apply the subdivision. Let's see. I'll make this top part not as rounded. Let's mess with the shape a little bit. Let's go to the elastic brush. What's the shortcut here? Oh, Shift T for me. No, don't do that. Ooh. It's cold. Okay. Kind of don't like that this doesn't really feel like it does anything. Let's try raising the strength on it. Let's try switching the mode. Let's try project and see if that works. Not really see anything. Yeah, whatever. I could see a little bit, so I'll just keep doing it and just slowly adjust it. I guess in this case, it's better to have that smaller incremental control versus like it blasting out. So I'm adding some subtle like differences so it's more organic. How does that feel? It looks like Play-Doh. Really uniform. Let's try like pulling this out, see what that does. Maybe make this come down further as well. And give it like a shear. Just kind of focusing on it from one side right now, and then just try other things after. Make this way. Make this go forward more. I really like the Oppenheimer soundtrack for the movie, but I heard it was really boring. I never watched it, but I think I might give it a shot someday to watch it because I like the soundtrack so much. Okay. Okay, so it's not as boring now, but it doesn't feel right. Let's see. What if I squash this side? Okay, that feels better. Let's see if we pull this side in, maybe that'll help it. Let's see. Put this down. Oh yeah. It feels a little better. I think it would actually tuck away like this more. Maybe this is throwing me off, like seeing the bald head right there. Yeah, I don't know. What if I just manually rotate stuff? So it'd be like that. Does that work? Yeah. It looks like a piece of gum. Didn't do that. Not feeling that. Let's see, see, what if I do this? Let's try switching the to rendered view. Oh my god. Does not look as good. It's like it's kind of crazy how this looks to this. This has a nice highlight like on the skull, for example. And this feels like washed out. Do I want to spend time like adjusting the rendered lights? I feel like it's not worth doing that right now. I might stay out of that view for now, and then I'll come back to it later. Yeah, I don't want to waste like 30 minutes like doing that. What's my timer at, by the way? Okay, so we got 10 minutes left on the timer and then a big break. So I think 10 minutes in, I'll stop. I'll go take a break. I think I'll stop the stream and then I'll come back. I'll go do some stuff I need to do and then come back. I'm not too concerned about like splitting the streams up too much. Where I'm saying like part 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like I'll just let it be whatever it is. Like I'm not gonna get too worried. So you'll see like part 56 by next week. Why is this squishing that, man? Oh, yeah, it feels a little better. Okay, I mean this is okay to me. If I squash this, this. Yeah, oh, okay, that feels better. Okay. Yeah, so I guess not gonna rotate it. I'll just manually tweak these points. I think that's the way to go. I kind of like how it's intersecting. I'll let it intersect more. It kind of feels like the hair is drooping from gravity. I like that shape. But again, we'll have a problem like when we come back to posing, where if we move the head and this doesn't make sense anymore, it'll get squashed to hell. But possibly what I could do is, depending on the pose, I could copy out the hair and then place it manually and then have it not part of the posed model. That could be a really smart thing to do. So I'll have a copy of this rigged and then follow the character, and I'll make a copy of this that's not rigged, and I'll match it up as best I can, and then I'll um, basically have full control and not have it like crapped up with like maybe the neck is twisting this all up here on the posed model, and then I could just plop it down and then manually adjust each of the hair strands. I think that's the way to go with it. Okay, so that one turned out better than I thought. Potentially that makes these boring now, but it's okay. Maybe it needs that contrast. Maybe it needs like some of the hairs are like really straight and boring, and then some of them are more interesting. So it's kind of like a contrast. So just like color, where saturated colors look more popped out because they're more muted colors around it. So it's maybe the same principle. Because if they're all exaggerated, then it's like um, kind of overstimulating, or it's like noise. What should this one do? I think it should cover the ear. So let's try that. Let's try covering the ear. Kind of like that organic, like openness that happened there. Kind of works to me. Kind of cool. How long have we been streaming for, by the way? Let's see what the time is at. Oh, an hour and a half. Okay. That's pretty long. I'll try my best to kind of squeeze in breaks more, so I don't just sit here. Someone mentioned that in a past stream too, to try to take breaks more. It's a good idea. Should this follow it like that, or should this do... Let's have it kind of follow, but not follow at the same time. I don't know if I like how narrow this is. I want to do like a sci-fi character, kind of like the cliche Ghost in the Shell. Got the cool robots, and I don't know. I have like no experience in making robots. I've done it like twice maybe, but the idea of it is so cool. Okay, I'm going to add my subdivision and just do shade smooth. I'm going to add a cut up here so it stays pretty, it doesn't get too rounded, that's what I meant to say. Grab brush, the handy dandy grab brush. I don't know if I like how thin this is. Maybe this is good though. Let's see, we'll try it out. If it's too thin, we'll like, we'll test, we'll change it. Okay. It's a little boring right now. Let's see. Let's add one down here. We'll try to echo this shape, but I'm thinking I'm going to curve this way. So let's try that. What happens here? And then let's try pulling it down. Pull this down so it's gravity. That might be too thin for printing. Let's pull this out here. Where did that start here? What is this? It's getting real thin there. Oh, this is going through it, that's why. Okay. Try to thicken it back here. Yeah. Where are these points? Okay. So I'm getting this like S-curve, like pull it up more. I think these are inside out, so I'm getting these flattening. Let's see. Wait, there you go. That was down there. I kind of like working this way where like the points don't matter kind of. Like whose line is it anyways? No, it's good. Whereas like I think before I'm like these cannot go through each other because that would be bad, but now I'm just like squash, stretch, the end result is what matters. It doesn't matter if they go through each other. Kind of freeing in that sense. Another thing is I want to try to replicate that shape where up here gets really thin. So let's go to like maybe move brush, squash that in, and it gets thinner. And then down here it actually gets thicker. Get this like thickening, the great thickening. What if I inflate? Let's see. Okay. What if we use pinch brush, but we control pinch, so it's like it just stretches it one direction. See what this does. How does that feel? Versus this, versus this, versus this, versus this, versus this. Just testing out a bunch of stuff here. Just using the move brush and squashing it one way. We could try changing the way move brush works too and see if that helps it. So the points closer to the center are affected more. See if that gives us more of a stronger shape there. Okay. I don't know if that's too thin, so let's go to inflate and just inflate it a little. Try to inflate inwards maybe. It's okay if it intersects here, I don't mind at all. Just inflate that inside part. Yeah, it feels good. I don't like this overlap. Let's see. Could I do this? I wanted to move over the mass a bit. Yeah, like that. Let's see. How does that look? Not sure. That makes it thicker. We push that in now, see how that feels. Oh, my timer went off. This looks like it's pointing up like a nub. Generally like that hair. It's interesting. It's like I like that one more. I like this more than this. And I like this one more than this. So again, it's like each time I work on it, like the next one I like more, the next one I like more, the next one I like. Let's push this in more so it's like not gonna poke out later. We got this also poking out, so let's adjust that one. Okay. Yeah, that worked out. This hairpin's visible now. It's really big and exaggerated, which is okay for me. Um, could do a snapshot to compare where we are, and then later we could compare. Do one for the side. We were gonna put like a outline here, but we end up doing other things and never using this, but we'll probably do it later. And save. I'm gonna stop stream. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do some stuff. Hopefully put in another like hour or two. We'll see what happens.